Good morning, YouTube. It's Thursday, and we're going to bring you along for another day in the life of running our dealership.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, and we are at my dealership, NG Supercars, and we have some outstanding cars, and we got a busy week. So we got a few more things to do before we wrap up this week. And tomorrow, we have a cool event. So there's a student at a local high school who wanted to see some Ferraris and stuff, and we're going to go out there and surprise him with some Ferraris. I'm not sure which cars we're going to bring out yet. I'm thinking maybe the F8. But in the meantime, we got to do some stuff in the shop. We're trying to buy some cars. We've been desperate to find more Ferraris for sale. I think I finally got a deal on one last night, and it's up in Dallas, so not too bad. We could go drive and see that. We have some frustrating moments sometimes in the dealership. This 599 sold, and one of the things that's kind of stupid is if you sell a car in Texas and it's for registration in an emissions controlled county, you have to get the car emissions inspected, which isn't normally that big a deal, except for sometimes with Ferraris, they do dumb stuff. This Ferrari did some dumb stuff. So we were literally on the way to take it to go get inspection, and it threw a check engine light. And if you didn't know, anytime you clear the check engine lights, you have to reset all the readiness monitors before it will pass emissions. Well, that means we have to do, I should say, multiple drive cycles in order to reset all the emission stuff, because some of them don't reset until after the car has been started, run, drive cycle, cooled, started again, run, drive cycle. Did that yesterday, it didn't reset. We're gonna have to do it again today, so I have to go drive this car. And I know it's like, oh no, you have to go drive a Ferrari, but let me tell you, when you're trying to drive a car for the purpose of just resetting the emission stuff, it's actually really kind of boring and annoying, because you just gotta drive it at a constant speed. And sometimes it's like 20, 30, 40 miles. So we need to get that reset so that we can get the emissions inspection done, and then that car is ready to go, and its new owner will come and pick it up. We also have two cars being worked on. This one is going to be converted into a manual, so we have a ton of parts for it. That one is getting an IPE exhaust. The IPE exhaust is starting to get installed. We hopefully should have that wrapped up today, so I'd love to be able to have you guys hear that sound somewhere in this video. It's going to actually have headers, sport cats, and then the muffler section, plus a Forza valve controller, so you'll be able to make it loud or quiet. Already did a review of the Roush. It's going to be listed on the website soon. The Nismo, well, yeah, it's kind of a turd, but you know what? Maybe someone wants it, so I'll do a review of it for fun. You guys have seen this one's sold, waiting on parts. This one's all set, just waiting for transport. So it is done. It was converted to a manual, and some other work was done to it. Corvette C606 listed on the website for sale right now. And then we've got the dueling Mustangs, the 1970 and the GT350R that had a undisclosed accident on it, so it's not on Carfax. It has a clean title. It is for sale, and it is the cheapest GT350R in the country, and it's only got like 14,000 miles on it, which is a shame that whoever did the repairs just didn't do a very good job. So that's the thing. We keep ragging on this car. It's not that terrible. It is definitely cosmetically needing some love. So if you wanted to spend some effort on it, you could make it look much better. That's not a return of investment for us. Like, we can't really make this car look as good as we want with the money, you know, and still be able to make money on it. F8 on consignment. We've got Harry's car. That 488 is waiting on the exhaust parts, and then the Jag. So that's currently the status, and so I guess now I'm gonna go drive a 599 around and try and get the emissions stuff to reset so I can get the damn car sold.
A few moments later.
Well, crap sticks. So it threw the secondary air injection again. Started poking around, and everything up front looks okay, but so we're getting P1439 left-hand bank secondary air injection system incorrect flow. P1444 secondary air injection system cylinders 789 incorrect flow. P0491 secondary air injection system right hand bank. P0492 left hand bank secondary air injection system. So basically there's like one of a few problems. It could be the actual secondary air injection pump is not working, but you can hear it when you turn it on from a cold start, so I don't think that's it. A second possibility is that the little solenoids that actually allow the air to go into the headers could be not functioning. It's kind of hard to test those. The other possibility is it could be a vacuum leak, and the vacuum system for the secondary air is quite thorough. There's a vacuum canister. There is a little one-way valve that's tucked underneath the intake manifold. There's all sorts of vacuum lines going everywhere. But, well, I was kind of like, this thing does have aftermarket Novatec exhaust, right? So I crawled underneath, and the left side muffler, the valve vacuum line, is connected. On the right-hand side, the vacuum line is just sitting there. So that is a pretty massive vacuum leak and would absolutely cause the secondary air injection system to not have enough vacuum pressure to open and close the valves. Joy of joys. So I need to wait for it to cool down so I can stick my hand in there and reconnect it to the little vacuum, or the valve. And I'm gonna put a clamp on the damn thing because apparently they didn't clamp it. And then we gotta wait for this thing to cool down and we can try the secondary air injection system again. So I'll probably put a fan on it just to help cool it down. Hopefully we'll get this thing sorted then. What's crappy about that is we won't be able to actually know until tomorrow because we're gonna have to let it cool down pretty much the entire day today, then start it at the end of the day, drive it a good half hour, come back, let it cool down overnight, and then do it again tomorrow morning. This seems like a really inefficient system. You're trying to help do emissions control stuff, and in order to do the emissions control stuff, you have to spend a bunch of fuel and waste a bunch of times. Whatever. Anyway, we'll hopefully get that sorted. All right, so I reconnected the vacuum line on the valve, on the exhaust valve, so I think that should resolve the issue. I'm running a fan on the car to try and cool it down enough to kick on the secondary air because I'd love to get it resolved today so I don't have to freak out and try and resolve it tomorrow. In just 30 minutes, I gotta take that 458 over to Authentic Details. They're gonna remove the old PPF and put on a new PPF, and they're doing the whole car. I'm telling you, the dude who bought that car is doing everything that you dreamed of that you should do to the 458. It's going to be probably one of the coolest 458s we've ever had in our shop. Can't wait to see it when it's done. Anyway, so that's going on. Jared just got here. He's working on converting the 430. That one's underway, and Alan is still working on the 458 exhaust. So stuff's happening. All right.
Later.
All right, it's almost 6 o'clock, and I totally didn't film anything today. Well, we got to do some more driving on this to get the readiness monitors reset. We have Brad from Authentic Details Camaro here. We're going to be doing a short throw shifter in it. He asked if we could do that. Sure, we'll hook up a buddy. And so tomorrow morning I gotta drive this some more. I know, sucks. Oh yeah, it's Thursday. So Thursday Night Live is tonight at 8 p.m. So every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central, join us. Check out, talk about stuff, schmooze, whatever, ask questions. So anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
The next day.
Good morning, YouTube. It's Friday, and today we got something kind of cool. So at the end of the day today, a teacher who has a student in a local high school reached out to the car community and said, hey, I have a student who's super into Ferraris and supercars. They just wanted to help that student go through some stuff that they're going through and show that there's a strong car community and that he can feel belonged and all this stuff. So of course the car community is like, hell yeah, let's help them out. So we're gonna bring some Ferraris and some other cars. So I'm probably gonna bring the F8. So I don't normally like driving consignment cars a whole lot, but I feel like this is a good use of driving a consignment car, helping out a kid who loves this sort of stuff. So we got to shuffle around a bunch of cars this morning, and we need to drive the 599 to make sure that the check engine light does not come on. So we're going to drive it until the readiness monitor is reset. So I need to move these two cars out, the F8 out, and I think I'm going to put the 48 there, because that's kind of the worst spot in the shop to put a car. It's really difficult to get cars in and out. Actually, where Harry's car is, the worst. But that's the second worst. Janine's and Mustangs need to come out, and actually we need to wash it later today because it's disgusting. And we need to wash the 599 after we're done driving it because it's going to get picked up tomorrow. So yeah, a lot of washing cars today. I brought the GT40 in today in case I need to wash that as well, even though it looks like it might not need to be washed, maybe just a quick touch up. There is a big car show tomorrow morning. So our friend Sean Jones, who is kind of the puppet master of most of the car stuff going on in Austin, is hosting his, I think, 12th annual Rock and Rides car show, and it's actually one of the first big car shows I took my first Ferrari to, so I'm particularly a fan of this show. Plus, I just always like seeing all of our car friends, so I'm going to go to that show tomorrow morning in the GT40, so I want to make sure it's nice and clean. So we got to shuffle the deck, and then of course we still need to finish up the exhaust on the 458 and still working on the conversion on the F430. So lots of stuff going on.
12 seconds later.
I had lowered the price of the Vette by $2,000, which we'll talk about in a second, and it sold less than 12 hours later, and they traded in a 355 GTS F1, but still super clean, like the cleanest 355 I've ever seen, and the lowest mile. It's like 7,000 something miles. It's immaculate. So the Vette's going away, and I actually wanted to talk about this anyway, so I'm glad that it's, oh, I love hearing that. It's gonna be, I'm gonna miss that thing. We were both really enjoyed that car.
It's funny, I enjoyed that more than some of the Ferraris.
I know, it was so fun.
I think part of it too is because it's cheap.
It's cheap and
It's
fast.
not a $200,000 car.
It just sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. Drive it home.
Yeah, well, now he's gonna
Now I'm
drive.
gonna drive back.
Yeah. Oh no, don't make me drive the Ferrari home. Oh no. Well, funny thing about the Corvette I was gonna joke about is when we're selling what we call like normal sports cars, the price has to be dead nuts on. Like you have to get it super accurate to the price, because if it's just $1,000, $2,000 too high, it gets lost in the abyss of all the other cars that are for sale. So we had originally listed it for $44,900, and a few people were interested, but not really much interest. So I lowered it $2,000 to $42,900, and boom, it was like everyone wanted it. We had multiple people trying to get it today. There was multiple local people that were wanting to buy it today. So I mean, it was like that car is going to sell. And it did, it sold fast. So anyway, I thought that was very interesting. Well, got the F8 all washed up and ready to go surprise this kid. So hopefully that'll make his day. So I need to shuffle the cars around again, but man, we're kind of nearing capacity right now. This is a problem. We have too many cars. Almost wrapped up on this week. Yay. Oh, and finishing up on the oil change on that 458.
We're about to start that sucker and hear the exhaust. For
Oh, is the
first
exhaust
time.
all bolted in?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Little IPE for the weekend.
Yes. Been waiting for this. Oh. Sweet mama jamma. IPE time.
All right, I'm here because I didn't do anything all day. I'm here to start the car and listen to the exhaust. So.
Yeah. Josh is here for the glory.
Crap because I don't do anything, but I didn't do anything. Ellen did all the
Yeah,
work.
Ellen did all the work. This is his job. So, all right, let's hear this Sport Cat F1 IPE exhaust. And I got the remote. Very different sound. All right, it's still Friday. It's like 7:30. Just finally got the damn thing to reset all the readiness monitors. So now tomorrow morning I can go and get it inspected, and then we can finally sell this damn thing. So what an ordeal that has been. And I need to wash it because it looks like ass. Guess we're doing that tomorrow. But well, I got a car show in the morning, so I didn't get a chance to clean the GT40. But I'm gonna head home, go eat some dinner, spend some time with my wife, and then immediately return back to doing car stuff because, well, this is life. All right, we'll see you guys soon.
Tomorrow.
All right, YouTube, it is Saturday. It's like 6 p.m. and the 599 just got taken home by its new owner, so that whole saga was finally concluded. That was annoying because the stupid emission stuff having to get reset. I had to come out here at like 8 in the morning and take it to go get the emissions inspection before he could come get it. So I wanted to do that early as possible to make sure there was no issues. So I did that. Went to a car show, which was nice to actually go do something I wanted to do for fun. So he just picked up the car and well, there you go. Sometimes we have to work on the weekends, actually most of the time. Monday, I am scheduled to go buy a Ferrari up north of Dallas. I'll probably bring you with me. So that reminds me, I need to bring this camera with me. So anyway, we will see you guys Monday.
Eventually.
Good morning, YouTube. It's now Monday, and we're gonna go buy ourselves another Ferrari. So we have a deal to go buy a 2006 Ferrari F430 Spider in yellow with like, I think it was right around 30,000 miles. I can't remember now. We got to drive all the way north of Dallas, so it's over a 3-hour drive. So I need to swing by the bank, grab a cashier's check, hit the road, go check out the car, and then load it up and get it home. So let's hit the road. We got a long ways to go. All right, we're on the road. Got the trailer, got the paperwork, heading to the bank to grab a cashier's check. And we're on this road. It's called Ronald Reagan. It's north of Georgetown. I'm pretty sure like 3/4 of the asphalt, concrete, and materials companies in all of the Austin area are based off of this road. 90% truck traffic. It is the most annoying road on earth to drive because no one goes remotely close to the speed limit. So most of it's 65 and then a section is 70 and the trucks are going like 40 and 45 and stuff, and it just drives you mad because you're like, come on bro, and there's nowhere to pass or any of that sort of stuff, so you just gotta sit there and suffer. All right, well, let's hit the bank, grab a cashier's check, and then head to Dallas. All right, just stopped by the bank, got a cashier's check. It looks like we have an hour and 40 minutes, no, sorry, 3 hours to go, 192 miles, my bad. Well, let's hit the road.
20 minutes later.
We're off to a really bad start today. I already got stuck in a traffic jam, and we're not even to like the next major city outside of Austin, so yeah, my time has already increased by 5 minutes, and we haven't even gotten remotely close to Dallas, which has like 100% chance of delays. Yeah, it's just how today's gonna go. Today I was like trying to get things going quickly, and 0 things have gone quickly today so far. You just gotta like roll with the punches today, because I guess whatever, I won't be back home until probably like 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. It's just gonna be a long day. Just gotta accept that it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be annoying. I never understood how people can crash so easily on interstates. It's like not that hard to just drive straight and not hit the other cars. Like that's all you have to do. But I guess like cell phones and not paying attention and stupid shit and bad driving all combined to just whack each other. Well, we're on a back Texas country road. Because it looks like they had the entire highway shut down, so all of the traffic was going onto the feeder road, which is why it was crawling. So I just, as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay. And Google had not figured out this route yet, so I looked at it, just turned onto it, and it shaved off like a few minutes as soon as I turned onto it. So, all right, well, we're on some serious backcountry roads. There's literally nothing out here except for some ranches. It's actually kind of pretty. All right, YouTube, just got past the I-35 east-west split heading towards Dallas and Fort Worth. Still got an hour and a half, 94 miles. I was able to shave off a few minutes. Interesting enough today, we have a really strong tailwind, so I've been getting crazy good mileage for hauling. As you can see, we're averaging 12.8. Yeah, that's phenomenal when you're hauling a trailer. Typically, if there's not much wind, I'll get right around 10 miles per gallon, plus or minus maybe 1 mile per gallon, but almost 13 is phenomenal. That pretty much is 100% the result of this tailwind. So the unfortunate side of that means when we head home, since we're going the exact opposite direction, we should have a very strong headwind, which means I'm gonna get terrible mileage on the way home. So I'm guessing I'm gonna get 7 or 8 miles per gallon on the way home. Probably have at least 1 more fuel stop. So the nice thing is once you hit the east-west split on I-35, usually the traffic subsides quite a bit since they're kind of divided in half, at least for a while. And then once you get close to Dallas or Fort Worth, then it gets awful again. ETA has remained about the same. So hopefully there's no crazy incidents in Dallas that are gonna slow us down. All right, we're in Prosper, Texas, about 2 miles from our pickup. And the roads here are the worst roads ever. I don't know how they made them this bad. It's like they intentionally made them this bad. Basically, all the roads are made out of concrete, and then every seam is at a different level. So you're just constantly going do, 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 do. It's insane. It's like, holy crap. It's, if you had any bolts loose in your car, they are gone. It's not too bad right here. Okay, maybe after that intersection they got better, sort of. Oh yeah, this is way better than it was just a moment ago. It was so bad. Oh, it's starting to get crappy. You can probably hear it going doo 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 doo.
1 hour later.
Well, this sucks. Had to walk from the car. It was.
Take the Dallas North Tollway.
Yes, Google. It was way worse than described. The clutch they said was at 50%. When I read the clutch, it was at 85% worn. We would have had to put in the clutch. The convertible top was not working correctly, getting bound up when it was trying to put the tonneau cover down. The elastic bands were flopping out of the top of, the convertible top, so all the bands are probably shot. The runners along the side of the convertible top were both broken on both sides, and those are a pain in the ass. Induction area where the cooling comes in, both sides need to be repainted, so you'd have to repaint that. There's a pretty substantial amount of road ration stuff and sticky buttons. The sticky buttons were like top tier level sticky, like it is like where you touch it and it leaves it on your finger. So yeah, and they wouldn't budge on price after all that stuff. So I was like, all right, well, so it basically left us zero margin for profit. Such is life. Gotta learn to walk when it's like this. Well, it's a disappointment that I'm wasting a solid day on this, but this is exactly why we go look at cars before we buy them, and why you should too, or you should hire us to go look at them for you. It's not worth the risk to not look at the cars. There's just too much variation in what people know and understand and what people's standards are, because we've had cars that people said look like crap, and we look at it and we're like, this thing's amazing. We've had other cars where people are like, oh, this thing's perfect, and we look at it and it's complete trash. So you just don't know. And again, there's a lot of variability in what people's standards are. This person was not misrepresenting the car or anything like that. They just don't understand Ferraris, or they don't know Ferraris, and they don't know what needs to be done and what the things to look out for are and all that sort of stuff. So that's it is what it is. They're just just an owner who enjoys his car and doesn't realize it. I mean, I'm sure it's probably the only Ferrari they've owned, so they just don't know like what are the standards that we're kind of trying to achieve. So yes, if you'd like to hire us, we do a consultation service where you can have us go look at cars. We also do consultations where we just discuss cars. Get eyeballs on the car before you buy it. I can't tell you that enough. We've said this over and over and over. So it's worth the flight if it's not local, and if it is local, it's worth the time to drive out there. So this was a 4-hour drive each way. So I'm spending 8 hours on the road, absolutely worth it. So we've been asked, how many cars have you guys rejected over the years? And I think it's up to about 4 or 5 that we've had to walk away from. Because typically if we get a car and it's not as good as we expected, and we point out the things to the owner, we say, hey, this, and this is wrong with it. Like, these are things that weren't disclosed or, not noted or whatever. Then typically they go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Let's work together and still make a deal. So it is what it is. All right, we're getting into traffic. I should put the camera down. Well, never a day goes by where something doesn't get thrown into the day to screw it up and make things not what you expected. So first of all, obviously, the big thing here is not getting the car. But Josh just texted me, and he just sold his 430. And he was taking it to get inspected, and it broke. So apparently either a clutch line blew or the throwout bearing let go, because he said it puked out all of its hydraulic fluid for the clutch, and it has no clutch and it's dead. Yay. So now, instead of going straight back to the shop, I'm going to go pick up his car, which we still have like 2.5 hours to go. So, I mean, it's a ways away, but whatever. So we now have a rescue mission instead of a pick up a car mission. So it sucks. A not good thing to an even worse thing. I want positive things, not breaking and bad things. This sucks. I forgot to reset my miles per gallon, but you can see it is falling fast. So we're already down to 12.2. It actually got into 13s while we were in Dallas. So now I may have to fill up, well, I'm gonna have to fill up once I get to my exit. The question is, will I make it to my exit? So it says I have 212 miles, but that's not gonna be an accurate estimate because it's gonna go down fast. And it says I have 141 miles on Google Maps. I can see where there's a 75 mile margin of error on the range estimate on my truck because of the dramatic change in the miles per gallon. So during this conversation, it's already dropped 2 miles in my range, so it's already down to 210. It started at 212 right when I pushed the record button. Oop, now it's down to 209. This is, well, we'll see if I can make it. All right, the wind has been pretty intense, blowing me all over the place. We're down to an hour left, 67 miles to go on the maps, 86 miles to go on my range, so you can see how much it's closed the gap. So it's gonna be a pretty close one. We're gonna get off about 20 miles before my final destination. So right now we got like a 40-mile spread. So today is just the day of shit luck. I just got a call from our friend Greg, who's got that beautiful blue 430 Scuderia that we put the headers, the Capristo headers on just recently. And it's at the Ferrari dealership getting some other service done to it. And apparently he said that it's making some horrible noise, like a shrieking sound when the clutch is engaging. Sounds like maybe it might have a throwout bearing that's going out. Why is it every single time I talk to you that a cop... So later this week we might be grabbing the car and then trying to listen for it. If it's not the throwout bearing, I'm not sure what it would be. Like, what would make a weird shrieking sound when it first engages and starts moving? Fun. It just, everything's going to shit today. All right, made it to the truck stop with about 35 miles to go on the range. Got a little bit better mileage than I expected. And we're at the same truck stop I always seem to stop at whenever I'm coming back from a journey, because this one has DEF, so I always like to top off the DEF. That way it's a lot cheaper than buying those boxes of DEF. Still gotta go grab Josh's car and do the rescue. Hooray! Remember I was saying everything's gonna go wrong today? So I filled up with diesel and DEF, and the DEF pump leaks all over my hand. It's just leaking everywhere. And if you don't know, DEF smells like cat piss. So I go inside to go take a leak and wash my hands, and the gas station has no water. Yeah. So now my hand smells like cat piss. Sweet. All right, Operation Rescue Josh's 430 underway. It is in the trailer, loaded up lickety split. I think the battery that I used for my winch and stuff might be dying because it was having a serious struggle bus trying to get this thing on there. All right, let's unload this thing. Oh, you guys Camaro up in the...
Yeah, we're working on the shifter.
Oh.
Alan's like halfway done with it already.
Oh, is it hard?
No.
Oh.
It's not hard. It's
just a lot
tedious.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's like doing a conversion.
Oh.
It's just, like, it's not that hard, but there's just a lot of shit to do.
Oh, okay.
Sad. It's like literally 2 miles. My last 2 miles of ever driving this car.
It dies.
It dies on me. I lost the clutch. I think the throwout bearing, one of the seals or something, because there's brake fluid. The brake light came on,
which means low on brake fluid.
It came on and then it went off, and then it came back on, and I stopped at a stoplight and I couldn't get it back in gear. The clutch was gone. So I was able to get it rolling forward enough to get it in gear, and then I coasted into the parking lot. I'm glad it happened to me and not the person buying it.
Seriously, I mean,
because I don't want them to have to deal with that.
If it had happened in one more day,
yeah,
it would have been for them.
Yep.
And that would have sucked. And then that would be one of those situations where we're like, no, we swear to God it was working. It was working yesterday.
Seems like we've had a lot of that lately.
Dude, I don't know what's going on. Every time we're either about to sell a car or about to buy a car, they break. So Josh is poking around with the camera. We think we might see where the leak is.
There's a banjo fitting right here. It looks like it's leaking from right there. It's like the line that goes right inside the transmission right there.
Yeah, if you look right behind it's the throwout bearing.
Yeah, you can see the throwout bearing.
So there's a throwout bearing behind this banjo fitting. So right there's the banjo fitting, throwout bearing.
Throwout bearing looks dry. I don't see anything on that.
Banjo bolt looks disgusting.
Yeah, that one looks gross, and so does this other one over here.
Those are the factory, like we wouldn't have touched those.
Yeah, we didn't take those off, so I'm hoping we can just tighten those, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know if we need to just tighten them or maybe we need to replace the crush washers. Stupid crap. By the way, Brad from Authentic Details, that's his Camaro, and he's having us put in a short throw shifter in it. So we got some America going on right now. Well, I'm kind of glad that it's that, because I didn't want brake fluid all over the clutch, because that means you probably have to replace the clutch again, which would suck. Like, best case scenario of the shitty case scenario. Worst case is the trans got to come out. Yeah. Well, worst case is the clutch and throw-out bearing are toast.
Worst case, yes. Trans has to come out, clutch and throw out bearing are done. Because there's another couple grand minimum, plus all the labor.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can just replace those crush washers. I think what we'll do is we'll fill up the brake fluid reservoir and try to bleed it and see actually where the fluid's coming out and then go from there.
So instead, I say it too much in the last video, but it's pretty busy around here. Well, I should go home. I've been gone all day, and it's now almost 7. Sweet. Remember how I was saying everything's not going right today? Amazon, for the second or third time, broke our mailbox. Yeah.
The next day.
All right, YouTube, it's Tuesday, and we've got some stuff to do today. Got to do a lot of stuff on the computer this morning. I got to get caught up because yesterday was just a disaster. But I wanted to go over a few things. Well, before I even get into that, though, I had a funny experience this morning. I'm a Z-list celebrity. Like, I have very little fame and absolutely none of the benefits that come with the fame. It's basically worthless fame, right? Every once in a while I get recognized in public, and it's usually at car events, but occasionally it's not at a car event, and that's when it's really more interesting because it's like, oh, like, you know, what random circumstances brings two people together so that they recognize me. Well, even more rare is when it's a woman who recognizes me, because let's be real, my demographics, it's like 95% dudes, so that's just a fact. Well, I was dropping off my son at his school this morning, and one of the other parents recognized me. And she's like, I know who you are. Like, my husband watches your stuff all the time, so I've seen you on the background. And I thought that was hilarious. And then I apologized, because I apologize usually to the spouses of the husbands who are watching this, because I feel bad that they're being subjected to my stupid crap in the background all the time. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny and cool. By the way, it's really windy today. They have like all these wind advisories and stuff, and there was a really big storm last night. So I'm gonna turn on the light over there by the 458 because we need to talk about that car for a moment. It's in here to get an exhaust. And one of the things that happens when cars are in shops is that frequently people will send their car to a shop, something will go wrong while it's at the shop, and they'll blame the shop. And sometimes, yes, the shops screw up. Other times, just randomness happens. So we do the exhaust install, which, you know, is back here. Doesn't have anything to do with the battery. We didn't touch the battery. We didn't do anything to the battery. All we did was plug in our battery tender to make sure that it still had charge. That's it. Well, we went to start it after we got the exhaust in, and the computers wig out. I mean, it's limp mode, everything's failing, it looks like disaster, right? We're like, oh crap, what's going on? And we're thinking to ourselves, like, did we accidentally nick a wire? Did we cut something by accident? Or, you know, who knows, right? So we test all that stuff, and no, that's fine. Turns out that somehow someone, when they reconnected the battery to this thing, didn't connect the terminal very well. It was very, very loose, and so it was drawing a ton of current, and it actually popped a fuse, one of the main bus fuses for this car. And Josh said that when he touched the terminal was super hot. Not us, we didn't do that, right? So anyway, we figured this out, and now it's working again. But at the same time also, the exhaust valve solenoids are not working. So I need to email the owner of the car and say, hey, what do you want us to do about this? Do you want us to replace them? Or, which we don't even know if that'll fix it, but we think so. Because we did a bunch of testing, and just, yeah, the solenoids are not working. Battery stuff, you know, like that's the kind of stuff where you could send the car to a shop and then you get it back and it wonks out like that, and you're gonna blame the shop. Well, not always the shop's fault. Something else happened, I don't know. This has already happened to us a few times with cars coming in. It's one of the reasons I didn't want to even get into the service business, is because I feel like, no offense to a lot of the owners, but I don't think they know their cars as well as they think. Like, they know the driving and whatever, but they don't know like the details of the mechanics and stuff. And so when stuff goes wrong, they immediately blame whoever was the last to touch it, which is not always the case. Anyway, I'm getting away from the whole point. On the plus side, look at that. That just looks gorgeous. Oh yes, IPE, yeah. They're doing a really good job. The new IPE stuff, they like switched the design to have that heat shielding on it by default. Damn, that looks good. That looks really good. We're gonna hopefully get this car wrapped up, done, and out the door today, or at least I gotta ask him if he wants the solenoids replaced. If he does, then we don't want to put the bumper back on. So I guess that's the only thing. Whew, let's answer some emails and send some emails and sit down at the computer and do a bunch of crap. All right, so I did some testing, and for sure, the exhaust solenoids are busted on this 458. So it's actually kind of funny. One of them stuck open, one of them stuck closed. You know. We tried flopping them, we tried plugging them in, unplugging them, having them in the valve controller, disconnecting from the valve controller, just about every combination you can think of, and they're just dead. So ordered new solenoids for that. Those should be in soon. Jared's here from Makina doing some more work on the conversion of this 430. The dashboard is out, and look how clearly you can see the pedals. It's actually kind of neat, because damn, they look good. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, this car needs like a ton of stuff. We have a big old bin full of parts for it, so it's getting the full work over. Yeah, well, the wind's still kicking the crap out of everything outside, so at least it kind of dried up. So it's actually turning into a sort of nice day. It's supposed to be like 70 degrees. Josh is out in Florida doing actually not a consultation. He's actually looking at a car that we're trying to buy. We'll see if that comes through and we end up with another car. Alan got, I'd say 90% of the short throw shifter done on the Camaro for Brad, so we can finish that up today. And I need to probably take some pictures and do some stuff. I've been on the computer literally all morning, and I'm just now caught up. So it's like a little after 12:30 or so. It's been a long morning.
The next day.
All right, good morning, YouTube. It's now Wednesday, which means the auctions are going on, so I need to check out the auctions, see how they're doing, see if there's anything we want. Probably not. There's usually not. Looks like the transmission is out on the 430, so we still have a ton of work to do on this car. Yesterday kind of wrapped up with not a whole lot going on. I was on the computer all day and not really much exciting going on. Sometimes you have days like that. Sometimes they're just boring days. I did actually fix something on the truck, believe it or not. There's a crankcase filter. I had to change that out, but I don't think you guys want to see it. It's a literally 5-minute job. Not really, again, anything exciting. Well, I'll see what I can find on the auctions if there's anything we want to buy. All right, just check out the auctions. There's a couple cars of interest, but nothing like that we're like super excited about. No Ferraris. There was only like 4 Ferraris for sale in the entire system. So kind of a disappointing day in the Ferrari world. Which brings me to my next point, which is, so if you don't know, we do buy cars. So if you wanted to sell your car, we would be interested in buying it. But also, if you want to get a little bit more money out of the car, we offer consignments. Now, the percentage of what we charge on consignments varies based on how much the car is going to sell for. So a lower dollar value car has a higher consignment percentage because the amount of work it takes to sell a car is still about the same amount of money we make shrinks. But we also will offer to beat anyone else's consignment price or consignment percentage. If you can get a quote and show us a quote for a consignment percentage, we'll beat it. Don't care what it is. We'll beat it. Feel free to send your consignments here. That's the only catch, is we would have to have the cars here. So if it's not local, we'd want the car shipped here. You keep the title. We don't want to play any of those games, all that stuff. You would get paid within a few days of the transaction happening. We don't play any games there. Usually we get people paid out within 1 to 2 days, sometimes 3 or 4. It just depends. The deal's real complicated. If there's liens on the cars and all that stuff, we have to move money around and do stuff and blah, blah. And you may be thinking, well, why would I want to consign my car when I could just sell it myself? Well, one of the big advantages we have as a dealership is that exact thing I just said. What happens when the buyer wants to do a trade-in and they have a lien on their car, or they want to get financing on the new car, or all sorts of weird situations that make it so that if you're a private party trying to sell a car, you now have to deal with that. So if they're trying to trade a car, you're probably not going to want their trade. We probably do want their trade if it's the right price. So that opens it up to a larger buying pool, which means we can probably get the car sold faster, but probably also for more money. And of course, we use our YouTube channel and all that stuff to promote cars and stuff. So we seem to have a pretty good track record of getting stuff sold. So anyway, hit us up if you want to consign your car or sell your car to us, sales@ngsupercars.com, because we need inventory. We would love to buy your car. Anyway, I'm going to keep trying to see if we can't win. I don't like that term on auctions. Win? Did you really win? buy these cars.
2 hours later.
All right, did review of the Nismo and the GT350R. Came back and I don't know if you can see him. There's a bird in the shop and he's gonna take a shit on my cars. No! Don't crap. Go out. Why won't you go out? Look at that. He's like, I'm just sitting right here ready to take a dump on one of these beautiful Ferraris. Hi, buddy. Can you go out the garage door, the one you came in? No? Great. Well, we've had, I think this is like the 4th bird that got in the shop. One of them died upstairs somewhere. Like he was in here for a while and I couldn't get him out. Problem is, you pretty much have to wait until either he wisens up and goes out the doors, or we have to wait till it's nighttime and then you open up all the doors, turn off all the lights, and they'll go towards the light. But right now he's just kind of flying around, and so now great. I have to go walking around every like hour and look for bird poop on the cars. Where'd you go, bro? Stupid. All right, well, anyway. So reviewed GT350R and the Nismo. I think I'm gonna review the 355. More than anything, I just wanna drive it. These are so fun. We got the 458 off the lift so we could take a look at Josh's car, because his car, as you saw earlier, something's up with the clutch. It pissed out all of the brake fluid. Fun. Conversion is like 90% done on that 430, but we still have a lot of other stuff to do on it. Got done reviewing the 355 and we got Josh's car up on the lift to figure out why did it puke out all of its brake fluid and clutch fluid. Well, there's a little window right in there. And inside there, I don't have enough light. Let me see if I can get a light. Yeah, you can't really see it anymore. Oh, okay, see those 2 banjo fittings right there and there? Oh yeah, look at that. That lower, look, is it the lower one or the upper one? Maybe both. They both have a lot of crap on them. But anyway, those guys are leaking. So the good news is it's not the throwout bearing. That was our fear, is the throwout bearing may have let go, and that would have been a pain in the ass, because then we'd be removing the transmission. So this we can fix. We can fix from right here. That's great. Of course, it means we gotta not only bleed the clutch, we're gonna have to bleed all the brakes and everything, because it's all in the same system, and it puked it all out. I think we make Josh do that, don't you?
Hey, yeah, absolutely. That was a nightmare getting it up here.
Yeah, you had Josh is gonna have to do this. He's flying back from doing a consultation right now, so it's not like he's not doing stuff and making money. But yeah, this is his problem.
Later.
Good morning, YouTube. It's now Thursday, and well, I'm gonna wrap up this video because, yeah, I'm gonna be editing videos for the rest of the day, or at least a substantial part of today. It's a good cutoff point. We'll start the next day in the life of running our dealership series. Stay tuned for that. Oh, well, I got a call and it quickly died. So where we're at now, conversion is basically done in this car. We got to do a lot of other services, so we're going to start working on that today. Josh needs to fix his car. We left it for him because it's such a mess. I just this morning got a deposit on the Roush, so the Roush is probably sold. That went quicker than I expected. It actually got a lot more attention than I expected. It's interesting because the last time we were trying to sell a Roush, it was a total nightmare, and this one seemed to be very simple to sell. I think it's because the price point is in the $30,000 to $40,000 range versus the last one was in the like $70,000 to $80,000 range. A lot more people can afford this, and it's a whole lot of car for the money. That thing will probably be out of here soon. The 458, the exhaust is basically done, but we had to order those solenoids. Those should be in sometime early next week, and then we'll wrap this up. It'll be done. 355, got to get it listed on the website. F8, still for sale. This 430 was converted. It's all done, just waiting to get picked up. Brad's Camaro, we put in the short throw shifter. It's all done. We're going to swap this one for another car we have at his shop. Mustang Fastback, lots of interest. No one's solid yet. A couple people want to come see it. Understandably, it's an older car. You kind of want to see these in person. So we'll see how that goes. That 488, the owner is actually now talking to us about possibly sending out the turbos and having them rebuilt and putting in upgraded turbos. If you'd like to see this, let me know in the comments below. Harry's 488, just sitting there. We got to put some parts in it. And of course, the Mustang GT350R. Just got an Amazon package. Oh, and the Nismo is outside because, well, the paint's so bad on it, we just said, screw it. It's going to stay outside until we sell it. Lots of wrenching today, lots of editing for me, and that's it for this video. So like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you can. We do appreciate that. And Go check out normalguysupercar.com. There you can buy parts and services from us using the code NGS10. It hooks you up with 10% off. My God, my phone is blowing up. I need to talk faster. And of course, go check out NG Supercars, our dealership website. We do appreciate when you guys can buy stuff from us and support the channel. That's how we keep this whole thing going. So thank you so much. We'll see you in the next video. We're going to be doing a lot of cool car stuff. You're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.